Welcome to the Inner Circle, the podcast that brings you behind the scenes with Omaha's most influential leaders, innovators, and change makers. I'm Gil Cohen, and after more than 15 years with Omaha Magazine, I've had the privilege of building connections with the people shaping the future of our city. Every episode, we will have an insider's look at the stories, challenges, and insights you won't find anywhere else. Whether it's business, government, sports, or the arts, the Inner Circle is your front row seat to the voices that drive Omaha forward. Real estate makes up 1/5 of our nation's GDP. So how does Nebraska fit into all of that? Today, we're joined by Andy Alloway, CEO, president, and owner of Nebraska Realty, to share with us his journey from minor league baseball coach to growing the largest independent real estate brokerage in Nebraska and a top brokerage in 12 other states. Hey, welcome to the Omaha Magazine podcast, Inner Circle, and have a very special guest. All my guests are very special, but Andy I've known for 16, 17 years. And Andy Alloway is the CEO, president, CEO, and owner of Nebraska Realty. Probably one of, if not the largest real estate company in the state right now.
Largest independent. We've grown actually to be, we were ranked last year by one source as the number 22 independent brokerage in the country.
Wow.
And number 53 overall, and that's out of about 100,000 brokers. So
wow.
we got about 1,000 agents.
Yeah, I think when I first met Andy, when it was D Real Estate, I think at that time Van had, well, when you bought the company, it was around 350.
Yeah, we had about just over 300 agents when I bought it, and
grown it to over 1,000 agents, and
been there for,
you started with Van before 2009, though, right?
Oh yeah. So I was a year out of college when I got into the real estate industry for no particular reason. God just kind of said no. I went from being a strength and conditioning coach with the Milwaukee Brewers organization
ask you about that,
to, get in real estate. And I had no idea about that. I just fell into it, fortunately. And then, Van talked me into joining his company. We had about 20 agents at that time, 25 agents.
You're still working out of the house on
2001. No, he had a little office next to Jericho's there. But
okay.
That was almost 25 years ago. Yeah. So I worked for Mr. Deeb for about for about 8 years.
Yeah.
And then was fortunate to buy it from him.
Be able to buy the company from him. And so you born and raised in Omaha, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then touch on a little bit. I know you had an association with the Milwaukee Brewers, and what actually did you do with them?
First of all, they have clinched the division. I just want to let you know that.
Okay.
This year, so
I'm still rooting for my Phillies, but okay,
yeah,
I'll give it to the Brewers.
So I was big into sports when I was a kid. Loved sports. Growing up in Omaha, and I went to Millard North and played basketball and baseball, and just loved all sports.
Second base, pitcher,
first base.
First base. Okay.
Yeah, first base. And I thought, football, I loved that as well, and wanted to be a strength and conditioning coach. As my college, I went to Northwest Missouri State, but the opportunity was in baseball coming out of there, and so I was hired as on the minor league side, so it wasn't major league, but. They were gonna after the season. They were gonna hire me back, come back to Phoenix to coordinate their entire minor league system at 24. And I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. And so they said, well, just go home. This was in October. Go home, and we're gonna work on our budgets. We'll call you. So I start thinking, all right, well, I gotta have something to do until spring training anyway. And so I'm looking for job. Oh, real estate. Yeah, a buddy of mine used to. Oh, maybe I should do that. And call this number, and the gal goes, well, you need a license to do that. I'm like, okay. So I
like a driver's license? No.
Yeah, right. So I start taking classes, and about 2 weeks into the class, I'm like, oh, I kind of like this. And they called and offered me a job, and it was $20,000 a year, no real benefits, fly to all these cities Dominican and all these places to set up programs. And so I go to my teacher that night in real estate school, and I said, hey, I'm either going to go back, I got to give him an answer, go back to the Brewers, or I'm going to, stay here and do this real estate thing. And my instructor goes, well, go talk to this guy, Van Deeb. So I went and talked to Van. And everybody that knows Van knows he's a really good salesman.
Oh,
and so he sold me on that idea. And I told the Brewers thanks, but no thanks. And
cool.
that gentleman that was my teacher actually ended up joining about the same week that I did with Deeb.
Okay.
And was my my executive vice president for 24 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Paul Vacheski.
That's really cool. So was that Randall School? Is that?
So that was Randall School. So Paul is actually still Paul Vacheski, who was a big influence in helping us grow over the years, and recently retired from Nebraska Realty. Is still doing is the head of the Randall School. As of today, which we bought 10 years ago. So we own Randall School, and
I found that out.
it.
I stopped in your office to talk to Megan a couple of weeks or so ago, and a receptionist when I walked in, and she said, are you here for class? And I said, no, honey, I have no class.
All right.
She figured.
She's too young to know who that was, where that line came from. Yeah.
But that's kind of cool because now you have the school right there.
Yeah.
And you have the opportunity to obviously recruit the agents right at a...
Yeah, we've owned it for 10 years. We've always kept it very, independent. We provide continuing education as well as pre-licensing. Largest post-license real estate school in the state. Has been for about 45 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool that you're able to do that. Van tried to recruit me also to go into real estate.
I'm sure.
Took the classes twice and just couldn't take the test. I'm not a test taker.
Yeah.
And I just never got to the point where I could take the test and move on. So I'll give you a lot of credit for not only going into real estate and going through all that, but obviously making it up to owning the company. And
yeah, just a lot of good people. I mean, God puts people in your path to help you, and He's certainly done that to me and throughout my career. So
yeah. So coming from an agent to buying a 300 plus agent company to building it to 1,000 agents, how do you do that?
Well, that might be one of the things I'm most proud of with the company and our team, and it's a complete team effort, but we've got there. So we've done things in the state of Nebraska that nobody else has done. Obviously Berkshire, they have a tremendous operation. Mm-hmm. They've grown. They're about just slightly larger than us still, and they're fantastic. But we've done it a little bit differently than most companies that even around the country is we've done it organically.
And not to, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Berkshire is not an independent agency like you are, correct? So
no, they're
apples to apples.
Yeah, they're owned by Home Services, which is one of the largest conglomerates of real estate companies in the country.
I just wanted to clarify that so people understood what the
independent versus corporately
Anyway,
owned.
sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Mm-hmm. But there's also a lot of those companies, they'll do it, and particularly companies like Home Services or Realty, who got bought by Compass. Actually, it's called Anywhere Broker now, but is they do it through mergers and acquisitions, which is obviously a great way to grow. We've always done it organically. Yeah. We've never done mergers and acquisitions, so it was always one person at a time.
Right.
It was no matter who you are, you're important to help us grow.
Right.
And then growth to me was the number one recruiting tool is retention. That's our number one metric. You can work all you want selling people on your brand or why they should come to your company, but real estate, what a lot of people may not know is we're a little bit different. I mean, they're not employees, most of it. We have obviously employees, but our agents are independent contractors. Right. So we look at them as they're our primary customer, and it's our job, though, to go in every day and say, we work for you, and how do we keep you here? Because they're always getting recruited by other companies. Yeah. So you never get to be as large as we are without a big focus on retention. Yeah.
Is there certain programs that you have to keep those agents engaged with Nebraska Realty as opposed to maybe looking somewhere else? I mean, commissions are basically the same no matter where they go, right?
No, actually, I think there's a wide difference.
Is there?
And I think early on in our years, that was a huge difference. Like we were so much better in our compensation plans. We didn't have all the bells and whistles like the big guys did when we were growing up. Right. and we were kind of given a hard time. Some of that, as you're growing up, you're the little brother, and the big brother would always give you a little hard time. But that was one of our big differentiating factors as we were getting in the early years is, people could come and make so much more money, and we didn't charge monthly fees and a lot of those financial things, but we didn't have quite the bells and whistles. As technology continued to really solidify and change or even the playing field, it allowed us to do more. And then we grew a little bit more and we could add more. And so to the point where we're now, the things that we offer, we're always looking at getting better. So whether it's technology or our marketing staff, I think our biggest, our training, but our biggest differentiator between us and most other brokerages is we've got a huge staff of people to accommodate. So we've got a full marketing team. We've got, in-house technology. We've got, attorneys on staff. We've got commercial division. We've got, you name it, whatever it is.
Resources for
training.
the agents.
We teach 100 and some training classes a year. I have a full-time events planner on staff. So to create that culture, it's not just about selling a home. It's about being the best at what you can do in your industry, because, our goal, we say all the time, real estate is our what and people are our why. Right. And so our people are our agents, our employees, our clients, and our community. And we want to be as impactful in the lives of as many people as possible. And so, real estate is our vehicle because it's such a big, piece of people's lives, but it's really about the people. And I think, with that mindset, that's why we've grown so much, and people are loyal to it.
Yeah, and obviously the agents, I'm sure obviously you're continuing to grow and your turnover is probably very low. And you would hope that those agents are creating relationships with their customers that they see all, kind of it's a full circle of, they might not buy a house every year. I'm in the advertising business. People have to renew their ads every year or not. But real estate is different. It could be 7, 8, 10, 15, 20 years before that cycles around again. Right. So they always have to have something in the hopper.
Yep.
And it's nice that they have a business, a brokerage where they can rely on so many different aspects, it seems like. So
and we try to I think that's the value proposition for a lot of brokers in today's market is how much content and systems and processes can we provide to make it efficient? If you want to go out, you make a great point. I have to nurture my sphere of influence over a long period of time in between sales, maybe. So that means I have to constantly be in front of them. Well, one of the things that takes away agents' time is what kind of content am I going to put on social media today? What am I going to send out in mail?
Keeping it fresh.
Right, keep it on. So if the company can provide not only the content but the vehicles in which to distribute this to stay in top of mind for people,
and you just personalize it.
Then they can go do their job, which is real estate, right? Yeah. Then they can learn more about the business. They can understand the market, have those deep insights that provide the value. Yeah. So.
How are things, with interest rates being, I call them artificially high, because when I first bought my house, it was 9%. Yeah. I would have loved to have a 6% in 1992. Yeah. And they're coming down a little bit. How has that affected, when I say employment, you have agents that have said, hey, this is, I'm not selling anything, I got to move on, or how do you deal with that? Fluctuation?
Yeah, I think, first of all, rates are good. They're in the low 6s, and they'll probably keep trending down a little bit. But when you have 10 years of that they never rose above 5, and then you had a number of years that were, sub 4 and even under 3. Yeah, that's not going to happen again, right? Like the 30-year average mortgage interest rate is 7%, So, and people after about 2.5, 3 years now are finally going, okay, this is, it's fine. It's time to move. People move because of life events, their family is growing, or they got a new job, or, unfortunately people downsize or pass away or whatever. That's just the nature of it. And the rate becomes a little secondary at some point. So I think the shock of the rate going up to 7 or 8%, and now they're coming back down to low 6s. But has it affected our workforce and agents? A little. It always does. If the market's good, you see more people getting into the business. The market's not as good. at least perception-wise.
Right.
I would argue that the market wasn't good in 2020, 21, and 22.
Yeah.
It was unhealthy, even though you had all this, prices were going up and you had multiple offers, in the first day and all this stuff. It wasn't a healthy real estate market. We're actually getting much better back to a balanced, healthy real estate market now.
And I think Van, and you probably have heard him say this before, that somebody will ask, when's the best time to buy a house? And it's like now. Don't wait, because you're either going to lose the house or you're going to lose the interest rate. Right.
Yeah, the interest rate is not the important thing, because you can always, you hear that, you marry the house, you date the rate, you can always refi, whatever. But I would say that a lot of people, rates or prices really haven't gone down much. And doesn't mean in the short term that they couldn't, but generally in the long term, prices have risen in Omaha since 2000 to the first part of 2020, over 50%.
Isn't that crazy though?
So when you say, is it the best time? A, you can't time the market, but B, it should be about your life circumstances.
Exactly. Yeah. Finding out. So wearing the hat as a CEO, owner of the company, and coming from being an agent, how do you make that? How do you make that switch? What have your largest challenges been, or your most important challenges, or
Well, I haven't been an agent for 20 years, really. So
you still have your license?
Well, I have of course. Oh, okay. I'm actually the designated.
How does that work? I know if you're a broker, you still have to have a license.
Well, when I say agent, So I suppose you don't have to, but I'm the designated broker for the entire company. Okay. So we have 12 offices across Nebraska, from Omaha to Scottsbluff. And so all brokerage operations, all CEO, whatever, that all comes through me. Yeah. When I say I'm not an agent, I haven't actively sold for a number of years. You miss that
at all, or don't be
not
afraid to
really.
answer.
I really enjoy helping other people, and we have.
That's a role that you took on, is being a leader.
we have. Between our company and all of our subsidiaries, we have 60, 75 employees. We have 1,000 realtors. We're in 10, 12 states, and with all of our stuff. So I love watching that grow and bringing our philosophies to others to become successful.
You think your experience with baseball, being a coach, has kind of helped you to those skills? They say, hey, it's the same thing. It's just you're coaching somebody how to play baseball, or you're coaching somebody how to be the best real estate agent out there.
Yeah, well, I think all of those circumstances play into it. I coached my kids in their sports for 10 years too. And certainly you learn as we get older, as we all do. We become wiser in how circumstances shape us. And but I love to do that. I love to coach people. I always have. So it's fun just to watch people grow and achieve their goals.
Coming off of COVID, this has been 5 years now, going on 6 years. Obviously, that probably affected the real estate market somewhat. People didn't want to be in homes; they didn't want to have open houses, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
How's that? Is that all finished now? People more open, or have things changed more? Is there more? I was going to ask you about. Somebody asked me the other day. They knew you were coming on the show, and something about AI, the AI world in real estate now. And I don't know if you want to touch on that a little bit. Or.
Well, we're just like anything else. it will absolutely be game changer, just like in every area of our society. I think we're still in its infancy, looking at going from ways on just how to write property descriptions to, one of the things I saw the other day that is really coming is their ability to to view property, to say, hey, here's the actual property, and then to film it in a way where they could kind of make it how they want. Well, if I put this furniture here and I painted this color, and so I think,
or how my current furniture might look in that house, right?
And I think to your point, you mentioned COVID, and that was going to be, everybody just wants to look at virtual tours and use their goggles to look at, and well, that's not true. We're still people. They want to go touch, feel. Yes.
You want to smell if there was a cat or dog in the house, right?
Well, as a real estate company too, we want to position the property in the best light. We want to give you as much media and pictures and information so that you can make your decision. Oh yeah, I want to go see that one. So people might be making initial decisions whether they want to view a house or not, but ultimately, this is where we live. This is the center of our lives. This is where we grow up and we make memories, and is our safe shelter and all of this. People want to go out and touch and feel things. I'm a Gen Xer, right? So I hate all this. I can get my, and COVID exacerbated, and obviously it's convenient, but I hate. I get my food all delivered at home, and I can stream Netflix as opposed to going to the theater. And I'm fine. Just I can work from home. Like we're not a work from home company. We can work from anywhere, and that's great. I love the flexibility. And I love Zoom, meetings because that's kind of the new conference call.
Sometimes it's convenient. It depends on who you're Zooming
with. It is
with.
Absolutely convenient.
Do I need to fly to Phoenix?
It is a great tool. It is a great tool. But I don't get 10% out of what I do with having somebody in person. So, being able to, see the home, touch, feel things, get out of the house, have interpersonal interactions, I think is great. And I think real estate, I think buyers still want that too. I mean, AI will change how we help position things and how efficient we are in business, but I don't think that's going to change the fact that this is how you physically live, and they want to go see it, right?
In your role as CEO of the company, you were interacting with other CEOs in Omaha. Do you guys meet? Do you talk? Do you interact with many of them? What do they say about the economy?
I mean, I don't have a specific group. I used to be in a business group of a few years ago for about 8 years. That was fantastic to do that, and certainly I read a lot every day. I don't know how many different newsletters and emails I sign up for all of them on the economy and on local things. So I try to stay really informed. I probably read for an hour and a half, 2 hours a day on local things like that. But I run into people.
You served on the real estate commission too, didn't you?
I was on the Nebraska Real Estate Commission for 6 years. I served on that. Yep. I've been what they call a federal political coordinator through the National Association of Realtors to Don Bacon for 10 years. Oh, wow. So Congressman Bacon.
What did that entail? Is that advisory board or?
So what we do is, so our National Association of Realtors, people don't understand how organized and how large it is. Mm-hmm. We have about 1.5 million members.
Wow.
We are we'd like to say, the champion for real property rights in this country. We've been around for 100 years.
Wow.
And it's not just, people just think, oh, it's the realtor, they help me buy and sell the home, right? Mm-hmm. Which is great, obviously. But all of the local, state, and federal issues that are related to housing or property rights or anything ancillary to that, we are involved with.
Okay.
So at anyone, even let's take it to a more local level in Nebraska, every year when the legislature gets in session in January, there's about 40 bills that we go and either we oppose, we are in favor of, or we just monitor. Okay. And it might be landlord-tenant bills. It might be things that would increase cost of housing or affordability issues. So take that at a local level. We do it at every local community because realtors are in every community.
Right.
And then in Washington, we're actually the largest PAC in Washington. So think about that housing is about 1/5 of the entire GDP of the country.
Yeah.
1/5 of our economy.
Yeah.
And so every time a house sells in Nebraska, on average, that generates about $100,000 of economic impact.
Wow.
So all of these things, you don't really think about that, but our industry is huge advocates for private property rights, home ownership, the financial benefits, the generational wealth, all of the things that come along with the strong communities. Mm-hmm. So as a federal political coordinator, we have them to all 535 members of Congress. And so it's our job to convey those messages on housing. And so I've had the opportunity to do that for 10 years.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Great experience. And probably a lot of fun being part of that. See how that evolves and the political process just in itself. I don't know how you lasted 10 years.
It's interesting. It's, frustrating. The bureaucracy is frustrating.
Last as long as I do, but
boy, I don't know. But it's been a pleasure to be a representative of Congressman Bacon. He is absolutely, he's been a tremendous representative for us. And I always say, if everybody was like him in Congress, we wouldn't have half the problems we do today. He's just a very genuine person.
Yeah, he's very middle of the road.
Yep.
And so not to get political here on our podcast.
I'm sure you don't want that, huh?
No. So in the last couple of minutes that we have, what do you foresee the future of your company real estate in general, and maybe what would you say to an aspiring agent or somebody that's interested in going into real estate right now?
Yeah.
How would you?
Okay, so three different things
Three
there.
different
All
questions there.
very good
Sorry.
ones. Our company, first of all,
Of course they're good ones. I'm the host.
I know you're pretty good, man. You've done this a time or two, haven't you? So I would say, first of all, our company, I'm just, we continue to grow and refine. Just because we've done something, well for 20 years, we always come in with an attitude every day that we've got to get better, that there might be a better way to do it. So we're always changing, evolving, recognizing what our agents and our clients need today. But our goal in the future, we created a national brand, and recently we are in Iowa. We've been in Iowa for about 25 years, but we rebranded to what's called Embarc Realty.
Okay.
And we recently opened up in Arizona. So
nice.
about 3 months ago, we've already got about 25 agents in Arizona.
Oh, very cool.
So I see our company continue to expand around the country to offer what I think is a pretty unique value proposition. We're much more about people in an age where real estate companies are much more going online. It's about our tech stack and our portal and this avatar and all, this profit share. We're much more of, no, we believe in the power of interpersonal relationships, and that's what we're trying to bring around the country.
Successful the way it's been working.
Well, we're humans, though, right? I mean, everybody wants to scale. These are all these words. You talk about CEOs and all these companies. I want to scale and I want to do all this. That's fine. I mean, there's obviously benefits to that too, but we want to bring it back to the table, man. I want to be face to face, and that's what we're trying to do at scale is to make that relationship the most important thing. So, God willing, we'll continue to be able to grow and develop. We launched a couple of years ago. We have a company called American Legacy Land Company, which is dedicated to farm, ranch, and recreational property.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
So we got about 50 land brokers in 10 states, and we've grown, in those 10 states in less than 2 years. So
Ted Turner ready to sell his property out in western Nebraska or what?
We'd be happy.
We'd
be happy to list that for Ted if he wanted to. But that's really grown. We've got property management companies. We're just really diversifying our offerings in all different areas. So I see that continuing.
So it sounds like if you're interested in getting into real estate and you haven't decided what you want to do, obviously, Andy, you have a lot of options for them.
It is. It's a big field. I like to say real estate affects everybody's life every day. Whether you own a home or you rent or you're a business that rents or owns property. I mean, everything we do, it's that physical that you're in, and so it's a very vast field, and that's what makes it exciting and fun and new. So to the person looking to get into it, there's always going to be opportunity.
Right.
We have, there's growing populations and how, we've got still probably about a 5 million unit housing shortage in this countally.
Wow.
And by most accounts, the last couple of years have been tough because when you look at during COVID, we have an overabundance or actually we went overboard on the number of sales that we had, right? It should have been spread out over a few years, but people are like, interest rates are low. If I got to stay home, I need a pool and I need to get away from my kids. So I need a home office and I need more space.
So they were doing more remodeling than...
No, they were doing more sales than we should have. Whoa. Everybody wanted to buy a house. Gotcha. And we already had really low inventory from years of underbuilding coming out of the recession. Yeah. And that just exacerbated the inventory crisis, which pushed prices up. And there was a lot of people in the market. And then as soon as interest rates started to go up, it just turned the spigot off. That didn't make buyers and sellers go away. Yeah. It just said, I'm going to hold off for a little bit. And that's what happened for a couple of years. And now that pendulum is starting to swing again. And by all accounts, I'd say over the next 10 years, you're going to have the majority of those years are probably going to be pretty good in real estate because the demand's going to be pretty high.
And obviously you've been able to keep those agents and kind of get them through the tough period, tough period. And they come through okay. I've mentioned this before to other people in similar industry, you and I in sales. It's one of the very few businesses that an individual salesperson, commission-based, can get a pay raise every day.
Yes.
You don't have to wait till the end of the year and get a performance review. You sell 5 houses this week, you're going to make a commission. You sell 1 house the following week, less of a commission.
That's
right. It's kind of a unique, at least commission-based sales. It's very unique different business to be in if you're motivated.
And be intrinsically motivated, though, right?
You have to be. You got to be able to balance out the slow times and the busy times. But
it's a lot of tremendous upside. But you have to be. We always tell our agents, you're a business owner. Yeah. We have a business in a box. We're here to support you, provide you everything you need.
We're going to give you.
But it's up to you to go out and do it, right? And so you're ultimately will be the cause of your success or not. Yeah. And there's tremendous upside. We can see a lot more young people getting in the business. 10 years ago, before that.
Not so much.
It was most people that would come to Randall. Well, it was, they were
I'm retired. What do I do? Oh, I'll go into real estate.
They were tired of corporate America. Yeah. They've been they're trying to find their job place in the world. Yeah. It might have been a stay-at-home mom that hey, the kids are back to school now. It's and so very few people under the age of 35 got into the business. Yeah. And now almost our average student at Randall is about 24 years old.
Wow.
So it's the exact opposite. And I think, technology has a lot to play in that. We've had a big transformation and shift in our workforce and our industry because of technology, so.
Cool. Well, Andy, we've been chatting with Andy Alloway, President, CEO, and owner of Nebraska Realty and Embarc, right? Correct?
Yeah.
You didn't think the name Nebraska down in Arizona was going to work? I was just down there and I met a lot of people from Nebraska.
It's one of the reasons we picked Arizona, right? You can't spit in any direction, not hit somebody from Nebraska.
But I understand. Yeah. You just, so it's been great having you on the show. I appreciate you coming on and chatting with us this afternoon or evening or morning, whenever you're watching it. It's true. Guests are watching it, and wish you continued luck and, get to 2,000 agents. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, hopefully.
Keep working.
And beyond. That's kind of the goal. So
cool. Well, thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Gil. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks. Hey, thanks for joining us on The Inner Circle. I hope today's conversation gave you a new insight into the people and ideas shaping Omaha's future. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the show so you'll never miss a conversation.